I think for me, it's pretty simple. I just perish. I wouldn't even survive the first week on
Pastry with meat inside of it. That sounds tasty.
The more you talk
hungry,
about
man.
this, I'm getting so hungry right now.
Making sure I'm balancing and, not eating too much meat. Let me put it this way. Can you imagine doing maybe like a 7-day car ride and then you're having bowel problems? So when you have to go, it's not like there's any bush you can hide behind.
True.
It's just wide open. I need to take some time and people are just watching me or trying to avoid eye contact. Sorry for that visual, everybody.
This is how I like it.
Hello everybody, we are VATP and this is our first episode, and today we'll be talking about Mongolia. I'm your host Zach, and this is Inga.
Hello, I'm Inga. I'm the VATP food and cultural expert. So today I'll be giving you some insight into Mongolian culture and cuisine. Now starting off, Zach, what do you know about Mongolian culture?
Well, I know that since the climate there is a bit, I don't know, I guess I would say rough, but it's just colder. They don't allow the climate doesn't allow for traditional farming in the sense that they can't grow as much crops as you would see in like a more tropical climate. So they rely on animals like horses, cows, sheep, yak, goat, animals like that for their food.
Oh, I see. Yes, Mongolians are primarily nomads now. And this nomadic role basically means they are more of a mobile society rather than sedentary as most of us are. We primarily live in houses and such, whereas they move around often with their animals and they live in houses called gurs or yurts around the world. So, Zach, how does this nomadic lifestyle affect their culture?
Well, pastoral nomadism has created a culture kind of centered around mobility, resilience to the climate and weather, of course, independence, since the changing weather can probably create a lot of instability around their life, and strong community bonds, since they can only rely on themselves and each other.
That must require an extremely strong mental fortitude and the iron will to survive and fight against the little environment itself, right?
Yeah.
Let's say this. Imagine you were Mongolian. How long do you think you could survive if, let's say, you suddenly went to Mongolia and decided, I want to be a nomad?
It depends probably what I'm starting off with. If they give me the gur and maybe a horse or two, I think I could maybe last a week. But of course, I don't know how to ride a horse. I've never touched a horse in my life. I'm not rich,
I think for me, it's pretty simple. I just perish. I wouldn't even survive the first week, honestly. No matter how much help they give me, I would probably just perish.
All right. Good to know. All right.
But hey, at least we get to enjoy the nice and stunning view, especially of Lake Kuvsgul.
Ah, yes.
Just in our final moments before we inevitably freeze to death or die to starvation or something like that.
Yes, I've heard a lot about that lake. Isn't it 2 million years old?
Oh yes, Lake Kuvsgul is actually one of the oldest lakes in the world. It's formed by tectonic movements between the Eurasian and the I forgot what's the other tectonic plate. Insert tectonic plate here, please. Also, there's quite a bit of culture around Lake Kuvsgul itself, since it's so ancient, you would think. So about 5,000 years ago, actually, the nomadic society have found Lake Kuvsgul and then decided that this place can be used for irrigation, which is when the nomadic society started centering around Lake Kuvsgul, and I'm not too sure about this, but potentially led to Ulaanbaatar being constructed near Lake Kuvsgul. Not too close, of course, but it actually isn't as far as one would expect.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Something I've learned from studying human geography is that human settlements definitely tend to appear around sources of fresh water, like rivers, lakes, near a coast. A coast isn't fresh water, but it's a resource that humans need to survive. So
yeah. So you mentioned having a gur. So
yeah.
Why is the gur so effective then? Especially when it comes to the nomadic lifestyle and maybe improving your odds to survive.
Well, first of all, its shape is circular, so that helps with wind resistance. And I mean, it's basically a giant a giant tent. So it's portable, and so that's good for migration. And it has felt insulation on the inside, so that's good for the extreme temperatures.
Well, that's pretty nice.
It's pretty big as well, so it can fit pretty much everything you'd need to survive in there. Bedding, maybe a stove. I'm not too sure how they cook their food, if it's outside or inside. But.
Yeah, so I heard that the interior of the gur is quite compact. You know, they reflect the social hierarchy and like their cultural values. They also have like it's kind of like a cell if you think about it. Like the animal cells, they are very compartmentalized in the gur as well. You have specific sectors for specific things, such as the designated space for sleeping, your gender roles, guests, and even your objects of secrecy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind living there.
Yeah, they do seem pretty cozy now, do they?
Yeah, I mean, I've gone camping quite a few times, and it's definitely nice to have a bigger space.
Yeah, I actually never ever tried living in a gur. Maybe I should try someday.
You should definitely go to Mongolia.
I should have listened.
Listen to us now. Visit Mongolia.
Yeah, Mongolia is definitely one of the hidden tourism gems. You must try it out. Like, I regret not trying it out when I could, and resulting in me missing this year's Blue Pearl Ice Festival as well.
Yeah, so what are some local dishes that you've heard of that you would recommend?
Oh, yes. So, firstly, we have to remind you that they are nomads, and the hostile climate doesn't exactly allow for farming, which centers their food kindly around proteins like meat and dairy. So one of the best things I think is probably the hushor, which is like this meat-filled deep fried pancake. It is exquisite. All you need to do is just add some salt and season it with a bit of onion as well. It tastes so good on its own. It doesn't need to be over seasoned. It's nothing too good, but it actually tastes very well. Another one I'd say is definitely the booze. So the booze is basically like steamed dumplings, but Mongolianized, you know. Instead of like having pork, like say normal dumplings we would have in like Taiwan, it is boiled. But in this case, it is steamed and filled with beef or mutton.
That first one kind of reminded me of an empanada from like Latin American countries, just like a deep fried kind of pastry with meat inside of it. That sounds tasty.
The more you talk
hungry,
about
man.
this, I'm getting so hungry right now. These are like pretty unique, and so this is another thing that we encourage is explore other people's foods, man. Like it is very important. You have to try it out. Our time is nearly coming to an end now because I need to do some research for different episodes. Stay tuned. Now, the last thing I want to end off is quite important, okay? As we know, time moves fast. It is 2026 now in the recording of this video. So, one thing that happens around all of us is urbanization. And including Mongolia, they have a capital called Ulaanbaatar, and urbanization is occurring there. And this kind of poses a challenge towards, say, the local culture and there's a whole thing with girls. Like, it's kind of difficult now because urbanization brings in challenges, especially pollution, since cars are now becoming more and more abundant, which causes the air quality to decrease. And note that Mongolians are known for being spiritually close to nature. So this might bring a challenge towards their society. Well, wouldn't say society, but definitely their culture. And secondly, a little bit of the fact is that most Mongolians in Ulaanbaatar still live in gurs, which is insane. I believe this culture must be ran down and must be protected. So we should do the best as we can and keep ourselves clean if we go there. Do not litter, protect the environment, man. Like, their culture is very unique, and if we lose it, there's nowhere around the world that can help you bring this back anymore. So you must treat it like a treasure. And yeah, that's about it from me.
Yeah. Also, on the note of preservation, I wanted to talk a little bit about preserving culture and specifically exactly why we want to start making these episodes about highlighting different countries. It's because we want to share different countries that usually don't get the spotlight, and because we want every culture to be included within our society and being shared and everyone knows about it, because if no one experiences it, maybe eventually it'll disappear, which in my eyes is something really, really bad.
Yeah, and another part of this is by understanding each other's cultures, we can become more inclusive to other people as well, which would make a better all-round society. And you get to know new people, you get to know new items, especially food. Remember, there's so many different food items around the world. You can go and try it out. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you for having me, Zach.
Welcome to the interview section of this episode, and today we are joined by our special guest, Mr. T. We are talking about Mongolia, and Mr. T, would you like to give us a little self-introduction?
Sure. Well, you both somehow were very, very sick of me last semester, and now you want me back. Most interesting for sure. But you guys also caught me on a good time because this summer I am going to Mongolia
Wow.
for the first time. So, yes, been doing quite a bit of research ahead of time and preparation. So I think I'm very well suited to speak to Mongolia today.
So here on VATP, we like cats, and we will have a special cat segment for every episode, like a cat from that specific country. So for Mongolia, that is the palace cat. And I think you do have cats of your own, yes?
I do have 2 cats. If you'd like a photo to include in it for this podcast, I can definitely.
Yeah, we can. When did you get them?
I rescued 1 cat at Fulong Beach last May. And then the owner of Waves Tacos at Fulong Beach, he found another stray cat and tried integrating that cat with his other cats, but they were older and didn't really like her. So he asked if I could take her, so I got her in about August or September.
Oh. So are you a cat person or a dog person?
Probably a mix of both. I've had both, but I think actually in Taiwan, probably having a cat is better.
Especially for like apartments and stuff, yeah.
Definitely.
So, I mean, I looked a bit at your, I guess, description on the school website, just to look at your qualifications and a little background, and I saw that you completed some stuff in London.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you've probably traveled to a lot of places throughout your career, both for personal reasons and business. Are there any travel experiences that really stand out when you think about it?
Ooh. Yeah, there's definitely a few. I think maybe today I'll hit on Norway, for example, where I think in terms of maybe temperature, vastness, that was a really cool place, far more mountainous than Mongolia, but kind of the dark vastness for sure. In Asia, I would actually say there's probably no place like Mongolia I've ever been to. I mean, I've been to South Africa, but even there, you're not getting quite the vast grasslands that you would kind of get in Mongolia.
What do you find like the most interesting about Mongolia's, I guess, geographic qualities?
I think just the open space. I mean, there's a place in Mongolia where you can be in part of the Gobi Desert, where you can see where the grasslands are, and you can see the snow-capped mountains in the background, and that's Mongolia. And I think kind of the biggest takeaway that most people have when they go there is just the vast amount of space. And if you are kind of doing off-road kind of driving, imagine where you have to just kind of go in a direction and not completely clear on where you may be ending up.
That's probably a weird feeling. You mentioned the Gobi Desert. So, to my knowledge, the Gobi Desert is a cold desert, and there are cold deserts and hot deserts, I guess.
To a degree. Don't get me wrong, it will still get hot in the Gobi Desert during the summer months. But yes, overall, this is, if you were in the United States, for example, this would probably be considered more high desert, where it would snow in the desert, but that's normal. So it's going to very much depend on the season and it's going to depend on what the weather patterns are and what's happening kind of at that time. So yes, we could describe it as a cold weather desert, but deserts in general, it's always think about it more as like a very arid, dry, rather than cold or hot.
Oh, okay. So, what exactly makes a desert a desert?
A desert. So, for example, the famous. I hate this question so much. What is the world's largest desert?
I guess the Sahara.
It would be Sahara, but then you get people who take out the sandiness and the aridness, and they're like Antarctica because of how much precipitation. Which, okay, that's one aspect of it, but that's not actually what a desert is considered. There's other features that go with that.
So, how do you think that this part of the Gobi Desert being in Mongolia has kind of affected their life, or I guess maybe their diet, like the kinds of food they can eat?
Overall, if you go to Mongolia today, most of the vegetables and fruits are imported. The diet typically is very meat heavy because that's what's available. So this includes goat, lamb, horse, cattle. Even further north, you also have reindeer herders as well, closer to the Russian border.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if Mongolia was not landlocked and maybe had a coast, how different do you think it would be over there?
I think it would be completely different. Mongolia, I think its culture and the people are very much a product of being a landlocked country. Famously, when the Khan tried invading Japan, the Navy didn't do very well because they were building ships for the first time, for example. And I think that's kind of what you have to keep in mind with Mongolia. It is what it is because it's landlocked. If it wasn't landlocked, I don't think you would have the horse riding culture that is there today. You also wouldn't have as good of horsemen that were able to go further west and reach like the outskirts of the Roman Empire, taking over different parts of Middle Asia as well, where it would be vastly different. I think if there was, so let's say theoretically, there was a border with the Pacific Ocean, and that it was further in, I think you'd probably see something closer to perhaps what China would be looking like right now. You'd have to assume that there's going to be some rivers going into the ocean where you'd probably be able to have some more fertile crescent areas as well. So yeah, it would be just vastly and completely different from what it is today.
Okay. Speaking of like rivers and water sources, earlier me and Inga were talking about Lake Kuvskool and its kind of relationship in distance with Ulaanbaatar, and we were kind of just discussing like how, well, from what I've learned, that settlements usually, I guess, just settle around sources of water, and why wasn't Ulaanbaatar kind of like built next to the lake?
Ulaanbaatar is a very new city. Ulaanbaatar is very much a result of communism, where it was placed, it basically grew from its location, and that's where all the money was going and everything is being funneled there today. And essentially that's why you have about I think it's now about half to 3/4 of the population are living in or around Ulaanbaatar, with only about a quarter of the population being everywhere else in Mongolia. The traditional capital of Mongolia is not actually Ulaanbaatar as well. You need to travel about 8 hours outside of Ulaanbaatar to go to the original capital, whose name is escaping me right now, but you can look that up as well.
That's interesting. That was. How exactly did Ulaanbaatar become?
You had a few things happen. So in the 1920s, Mongolia was able to basically become independent from China. So then from there you had a lot of communist influences kind of happening from Russia, and that's why even today you have kind of the Cyrillic writing that is still mainly used in Mongolia. even though the traditional writing is probably something similar to what Chinese characters look like. And then from there, you also had influences from communist China as well. And Mongolia, or not Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar just happened to kind of be a very central location in between Beijing and Russia, where that was a good place to kind of set up shop for industry, for different commerce.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, I think that's most of the geographical questions I have. Maybe I'll just ask one more personal one. So where are you planning to visit in Mongolia this summer?
Probably more central Mongolia. So obviously need to fly into Ulaanbaatar. We're going to get there right before the beginning of Nadam. Do you know what Nadam is?
No.
That's one of their very big festivals where that is, if you kind of seen different movies or kind of travel shows about it, that's where they do the big like horse racing, the wrestling, as well as archery contests. So definitely want to check that out. Then from there, going to head south towards the Gobi Desert. Do you know there's a small Gobi Desert, then there's the bigger Gobi Desert?
No.
Okay, so in Mongolia, you can go. Most people usually go to the smaller part because it's, again, the vastness of Mongolia. There's not that many airports, so basically you need to drive upwards of like 8 to 10 hours a day to get to most locations. So that just kind of shows you that, don't get me wrong, this is also road quality as well. But yeah, I'm going to head south to the smaller part of the Gobi Desert, which kind of has like a weird little separation with some mountains in there as well. Then going to kind of go to some other different locations, and also planning to see if you've seen the famous statue of Genghis Khan that's made out of iron casts. Going to go check that out as well. And yeah, just check out some other different locations. Going to probably stay in a yurt and experience Mongolia.
From what you've seen, are you excited about eating some Mongolian food?
I think so. I think just making sure I'm balancing and, not eating too much meat, because let me put it this way. Can you imagine doing maybe like a 7-day car ride and then you're having bowel problems? And let me put it this way. They're in Mongolia, especially the driving areas, it's just pure grassland. So when you have to go, it's not like there's any bush you can like hide behind.
True.
It's just wide open. So yes, I'm going to rather be careful, as I'd rather not be stuck in a situation where I need to take some time and people are just like watching me or trying to avoid eye contact.
Yeah.
Sorry for that visual, everybody.
Is there anything special you're going to pack for this trip that you wouldn't usually pack if you're, going on vacation?
This is an interesting trip where the temperatures can fluctuate quite a bit depending on where you are. So yeah, it could be really hot and warm where it's going to be shorts weather, but then at night you're probably going to want a heavier jacket as well. So this is one where actually I need to kind of prepare for, I would even call it like different seasons of like clothing, just simply because things can happen, and they basically say to this effect as well. It could be close to like 30 degrees, and then it could be dropping down closer to like 5 degrees if as night falls, and if it's like raining, and you might even run into a snowstorm here and there.
Oh, a snowstorm. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have. Is there anything you would like to add or say to the viewers?
Well, yeah, I guess I just had a question for both of you. Kind of why Mongolia? What was kind of your thinking in choosing that country?
Well, sort of our whole idea behind this channel was to spotlight countries that usually don't get much attention, especially online, or like they're not seen as like trendy. Like you'd see people usually going to like Japan or South Korea, maybe Vietnam, Thailand, like Phuket or Bali, places like that. And I just noticed that online I don't really see Mongolia getting a lot of attention. So that was just one of the picks we had.
Oh, great. Yeah. Actually, that was kind of one of the appeals of, I kind of wanted to go somewhere that's a bit more off the beaten track. But yes, I guess for your viewers as well, if you are trying to go to Ulaanbaatar, there's no direct flights from Taipei. You either need to go through Korea or Hong Kong to get there, and there's no airline that goes directly there. You usually need to change an airline at Seoul or Busan or something and change over.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to ask. Did you end up watching any Who videos like I told you to?
I was just talking to Inga about that. I forgot to look them up. Maybe you can talk about them.
All right, so there is this band that I really liked. They've been out for a while now, but they are called Who, H-U. They are a heavy metal Mongolian band that also they do have traditional instruments that they use, and they sing in basically all Mongolian. They have had some of their bigger hits that have been translated where the Mongolian is sung and then there's like English parts to it. So, for example, the lead singer of Papa Roach did one of the songs for them. Also, the Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm, she also did one of the songs as well. So, yeah, they do a great job of kind of incorporating Mongolian culture into heavy metal, which you wouldn't normally, I think, expect to be a thing. So, yeah, check it out.
Yep. Go listen to it, people at home. So I guess we're going to wrap up today's episode. Thank you again for joining us. Maybe we'll have you again on a future episode.
Yeah, please. Yeah, feel free.
All right.
Hello, I am Sir Clanksalot, and today I will be forcing information of the Pallas's cat into your head. Now, the Pallas's cat is Mongolia's primary cat. They have short ears and flat faces, which makes them look very grumpy. Now, these are critical features of the Pallas's cat, as it allows them to stay hidden in foliage, as they are ambush predators. What exactly do they eat, you wonder? Well, they eat pikas and rodents. These creatures are primary consumers. They eat the grass of Mongolia. And as mentioned earlier, Mongolia does not have a lot of grass. So, Pallas's cat, they regulate the consumption of this grass and keep the ecosystem balanced, which is very good. So, without them, all plants will perish. Now, remember, the Pallas's cat lives in very cold climates, which results in them having extremely dense fur to keep warm in said environment. In fact, they have the densest fur of all cats on this planet. Now, despite them being predators, they only have a hunting success rate of 30%. This is because they chose to become an ambush predator in an area with not much cover. However, they still remain critical, as mentioned earlier, environmental regulating. Now, the human actions have caused multiple threats to the Pallas's cat, including global warming and habitat reduction. It is important because as the climate warms, there is less and less places for the Pallas's cat to remain active and hunt. And by decreasing this, they will die. And if they die, the pikas and rodents grow, and when they grow, the plants go down, ultimately collapsing the ecosystem, and that is devastating. Lastly, another fun fact about the Pallas's cat is they actually do not meow. They have a very, very interesting honk that will be played right now. That's all from Sir Clanksalot. I hope you found this message helpful. Until then, see you next time.
All right, everybody, we are now at the geoguessing segment of the video. We are going to hop into a sort of challenge and just show you guys some Mongolia geoguessing matters.
The long-awaited geoguessing segment.
All right, here we go. And by the way, none of us have ever learned about Mongolia metas, so this is going to be a very non-professional geoguessing sort of thing.
It'll be a new experience for all of us. So if you're any GeoGuessr pros out there, feel free to comment and please tell us if there are any metas that we can know and give us a pinpoint location maybe.
I just know some of the basic stuff. So here we have
The roof
a
rack?
variation of the Mongolian car. This one doesn't have the tent. It just has the roof rack. To me, this looks like we should be in Ulaanbaatar just from the size of the city, because I
Yeah.
can't think of anywhere else in Mongolia that would be this developed.
Me neither. All right. Which part of Ulaanbaatar though?
Ooh, I mean, I'm just gonna go city center.
I wouldn't go see Senate because I think they're probably more developed around there. I'm going outskirts
I don't
of
know.
Ulaanbaatar.
I mean, I've never
maybe.
seen Ulaanbaatar personally, but
Where was this?
it actually wasn't Ulaanbaatar. This
It is a town.
okay, just a town. Cool.
That's really cool. All right, round 2. Here we go.
Hopefully, this isn't offensive to any Mongolians.
Oh, we're so
Please,
sorry.
we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, this is just for fun. Like,
Mhm.
please.
Okay, we have a man.
I think this is maybe more
We have
northern.
some hills to the northeast. Is that snow? I guess
Yeah,
it
this
is
snow,
snowing.
maybe. I think it might be at the high deserts, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I think the Gobi Desert is like around there.
I'm not too sure. Would this be the Gobi Desert though? Would this?
I mean,
I don't think so.
I don't know. Oh, what's that? Oh, of course, it's in Mongolian. I can't read that.
Yeah. Oh god, time. Let me just randomly plonk.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm going up here. It
It's-
was Ulaanbaatar.
It's just Ulaanbaatar. Okay.
Not the first time that has happened to us in our casual games.
Yeah.
That often happens.
Mongolia, not the easiest country for us sort of newer players.
Yeah.
Okay, here we have the
This is
usual Mongolia car that I see with the tent on the back.
yeah. Also, I think there's a newer Mongolia car that also has a shovel. I think on.
Oh
it.
yeah, I've seen that.
That was pretty cool.
Okay, a bit greener this time.
Could actually be by Russia's side or by the lake this time, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it could be more northern, but probably maybe it gets more green down in the south during the different seasons. I don't know.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Moving is probably not going to give us much help either. It's
Yeah.
just, as Mr. T said, there's a.
8-hour drive
Yeah.
to literally everywhere, I think.
I'll go north though.
I'll also go north, but still stick near Ulaanbaatar.
It was
It
north.
was
Okay.
Khuvsgul.
Oh, next to Khuvsgul. Wow. What is this yellow line here? Is that a road across Khuvsgul?
Probably not, right? They wouldn't
Under?
do that.
What is this yellow line?
It's a ferryway. It's for boats.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. They wouldn't do that to their
Yeah.
lake.
It's sacred.
It is.
Oh.
Okay.
This is the other car.
Yep, this was the car I was mentioning, the slightly newer one. I don't see the shovel though. Which is,
No, I think that they have so many cars in Mongolia, I'm pretty sure.
but they do all have the common thing of being a baki,
Yep.
and they carry this tent-ish thing on the roof.
Yeah.
By the way, Mongolian bollards, they are
Oh, yeah.
hotel.
Wait, where did you find those?
I just moved forwards a bit. You can find them if you move
Yeah.
forwards a bit, I guess. I'm thinking this is definitely one of those yellow roads that you see that's coming out from Ulaanbaatar, but I'm not too sure
looks kind of similar to the green round we had previously.
where. It's
so
slightly more
maybe.
green. It might be northern-ish, but
But yeah, here are those Mongolian bollards, the red and
Yep.
white.
Not
Maybe I'll
too
go
sure.
around Ulaanbaatar-ish.
I'll also go around Ulaanbaatar. Where were we?
Sort of.
Ooh, we're very close
West.
together.
Oh yeah.
Eesh,
Last round.
I'm
Hopefully it'll be better.
This is not looking good for us. Okay, is that the shovel?
I mean, very green again. This is like the most green Mongolia I've ever seen.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably around Khuvsgul this time.
Yeah, looks pretty similar. Those hills. Oh, those hills have a lot of trees.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen
It
that.
might be on the other side though. I'm not too sure. It could be on the other side of Khuvsgul.
Those hills are to the south.
Are they? Oh yeah.
Maybe we're looking at. Do we have anything to our north? Actually, there's hills pretty much all around us, so this could still work, I guess.
Yeah, potential.
Look at the road. Oh, maybe it's not up
This
there.
road is eastbound. No,
It's sort of
westbound.
an east-westish road, so
Yeah.
this won't work.
I'm just gonna go
Maybe that'll work, I don't
around there. Let's see. Ooh.
That was
goes more
even
down.
further down. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, at least we got close.
Yeah. All right, well, everyone, as you can see, Mongolia is not an easy country to geoguess. It definitely takes a lot of practice. You can probably
Yeah.
go search up some pro players playing GeoGuessr about Mongolia. I mean, yeah. All right, well, if you guys are interested in seeing more geoguessing content, be sure to tune into our other episodes. We have a South Africa coming. Make sure to come watch that.
Thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a comment. We are VATP, and we hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.